Hello there. Today we're going to be talking about natural contraceptive options and how effective they are. So today I wanted to start with talking about fertility awareness method. You might have heard of this, and with typical use, it's about 77 to 97% effective. And what this entails is you're tracking your ovulation, you're tracking your cervical mucus, you're taking ovulation strips, and you're doing basal body temperature. There are ways that you can do this that are going to be more effective than others, but this is an option. There is a product that's a thermometer with an app that is scientifically proven to help prevent or encourage pregnancy, whichever you're looking for. And it's called Natural Cycles. So I'll provide a link to that in the description of this video so you can look into that if this is an option that you'd like to consider. I would say this ranges in effectiveness, so keep that in mind that this is only going to be as effective as you are at sticking to it. 77% to 97%. In order to interpret that, that means 97%. That means 3 people out of 1,000 people in 1 year got pregnant using this birth control method. 77% means that about 300 people, almost 400 people, out of 1,000 got pregnant using this birth control method. So just keep that in mind. That's how these statistics can be interpreted. It's based on 1,000 people in 1 calendar year, whether they got pregnant or not. So if this is something that you might be comfortable with, either you know yourself and you're going to be really effective at sticking to it, or you're okay with having a possible pregnancy, then these might be a fitting method. So next is barrier methods. Barrier methods include things like condoms or diaphragms or female condoms, and these can range in effectiveness. 87% to about 98% is the effectiveness of male condoms, and 92% to 96% for female diaphragms. Now, I wanted to add that diaphragms aren't used very often. So I personally had talked with a gynecologist about using one when I was making my birth control choice, and it wasn't really encouraged. One, because I think that they're not used very often. Some doctors don't know how to properly fit them for women because you do need them fitted by a doctor, and that could reduce the effectiveness of that type of barrier method. So just keep that in mind when you're making the choice, that could be a hindrance, or it could affect the availability of that product for you, simply because some doctors might not know how to fit that and they might not be able to offer it for you. So the next is withdrawal, and this might not be the most effective because there are effects of some pre-secretions, pre-cum that males have, and this could reduce the effectiveness of withdrawal because it's not going to account for that small amount of sperm that could still be there. And this effectiveness says it's about 80% to 97 or 96%, but also using some of these in combination with others can increase their effectiveness. So for example, withdrawal might help if you also are doing the fertility awareness method that we first talked about. And that fertility awareness method is something where you would know if you're ovulating and whether withdrawal is necessary or not necessary, or when you might be apt to get pregnant. So that can help with improving the effectiveness and probably bring it up to that higher level, especially if they're used in combination with each other. Now, the next 2 methods of birth control are going to be the most effective. So the first is a copper IUD, and this has a higher than 99% success rate at preventing pregnancy. And so what that means is less than 1 person per 1,000 gets pregnant using a copper IUD per calendar year. Typically, copper IUDs are used for 5 to 10 years, depending on your gynecologist's recommendations and the model, I believe. But some of those could be considerations in whether they are placed properly and whether there's any changes. So this is something that needs to be placed inside your body, and there is a string attached to it. And so if there's any possible expulsion of the IUD, that would affect this product, but I think that that's somewhat rare for most cases, and that's why this has a high success rate. And then the last is a permanent solution, and that is sterilization, either of male or female, and that includes vasectomies or tubal ligations. And these also have a greater than 99% success rate after certain time periods. So I do want to add that vasectomies, you often have a time period to wait after the procedure for this to be effective. Usually from my research, I could tell that over 99% was after 3 months from the procedure. So just keep that in mind. If someone's recently had a vasectomy, their healing process might not have occurred fully in order for that to be able to prevent pregnancy. So just keep that in mind. Tubal ligations, I don't think there's the same situation. I think that from the research that I was doing, it is pretty immediate, although someone might need time to recover physically. So these are some of the non-hormonal birth control options that are out there that people could choose. So I hope this was helpful in you being able to make a confident decision about the birth control method that might be right for you if you're choosing a birth control for the first time, or you're making the decision to discontinue hormonal birth control. So I hope that this was really informative and helped you be able to make your decision based on some of the priorities in your life. And if you liked it, I'd appreciate if you liked the little thumbs up button. That'll help this information get out to more women and be able to empower them as well. So until next time, be well.